Thank you, Dirk. Thank you all. Good night from China. Um, Thank you for the opportunity to share our experience as a monitoring center, quite different from just one observatory. It is an organization that manages several observatories in China. Now, currently, there are 9 observatories in China. The first one was established in Guilin, Yangshuo in 2005. It is also, of course, the first global observatory. Afterwards, 8 were established with all different characteristics in developing their tourism industry. And so in 2010, the monitoring center was established under the auspices of UNWTO and Sun Yat-sen University in order to manage these observatories in China and, of course, share experiences globally, especially within Asia and the Pacific. So this session is about participatory process for identifying research and monitoring priorities. According to our experience, at the beginning of establishing the observatories, our experts from UNWTO or the experts we invite or professors from Sun Yat-sen University, they have a strong say in how to determine these priorities and research areas according to their field trips or previous researchers or their knowledge of the destination. The local authorities play a more like a listener. They look for advices, they listen to you, they are more passive of receiving the information and suggestions and advices. But of course, after the priorities are determined, it is a continuous communication process before or during or after establishing the observatories. It continues during the whole monitoring process. And of course, we have to face different interests among stakeholders. And of course, with the monitoring carrying out for years and years, and with the changing situation in our real world, especially in China, the things are changing very fast. And we are facing lots of changes. For instance, the local communities or authorities, they are more sensitive now to what academic research is offering. Before, they had a lot of trust maybe in academic researchers. But now they are more younger generations leading the governments. They have lots of information. They have all the cutting edge information. So they are more active in what they should do. They are taking the lead in what they want to know, and they want to have they have their concerns and want to find the right answers to solve the problems, not only monitoring the issues that we maybe decided at the beginning of establishing the observatories. So we need to consider other significant aspects as well in China. For example, the national strategies in culture and tourism, the famous 14th five-year plan, the national ambitious aim to accomplish STDs really in globally. So therefore, our monitoring work has to change or facing the changes little by little. And now one of our main solution to face the changes is we are adding regular monitoring with the special researchers during our monitoring. That being said, is we are using the set of monitoring indicators that UNWTO sets, but also according to different observatories, we are doing special researches and studies as separate subjects to each observatory. For example, in Huangshan Observatory, we studied the value of world heritage and national recognition, the social responsibility of small and intermediate enterprises. And in Henan Observatory, we studied the relationship with Kung Fu and tourism. In Xishuangbanna, we did tourism and real estate development. Also in Changshu this year, we did destination image evaluation and branding evaluation for these observatories. And in all the observatories, we did these special studies that can meet the requirements of the new demand. So as I listened to all the speakers and in previous conferences we had, actually lots of observatories are facing the same challenges and problems. It is hard to offer a lot while the monitoring actually is a limited research. We have to face that. And if the government or stakeholders have other pictures in mind or have other strategies in mind, the results can have limited influence with data, of course. And currently, for example, in China, the governments and big enterprises, they have a lot of data in hand. And sometimes they don't want to share that. They want to have research on their own. So, and of course, these companies have more advanced technologies, and they are working closely with the governments as well. And we have to think about how to work with them in the future. So it is, as we know, that it is not very easy for the stakeholders to input enough human resources or funding. And when they do put in funding or human resource, they want an immediate impact or result. So in order to face these changing situations and challenges, as the monitoring center that manage or serve to these observatories, we need to do actually more than just monitoring. Currently, we are trying to be a platform with different resources, like not only tourism, culture, but with other industries. For example, we are connecting one of the most successful electronic games sport company to cooperate with our observatories in bringing culture and tourism elements in their promotion. And these young stars of e-games, they can bring huge young crowds to the destinations, to these observatories. And our experts are growing too, being the best professors in tourism academic in China. The experience of working with these observatories enrich their academic research, improve their academic approaches, and then they can provide new knowledge and know-how to these observatories. It's a process of growing together with these observatories. And also, as the monitoring center, we are trying to benefit the observatories not only by tourism industry itself, but other important social aspects to improve the tourism industry. For example, in August, we started a project called a 5G First Aid Project in tourism destinations. We are trying to take advantage of the technology of the 5G to improve the first aid situation in our observatories, because many observatories are in remote areas or mountainous areas or rural areas. So this is very important to improve not only the service to the tourists, the tourism quality that offers to tourists, but also benefit to the local residents for their social welfare. So in August, we chose Canas as our first pilot spot. It is a remote and much less developed area, as you know, located bordering with Russia and Kazakhstan, and lots of ethnic groups are living there, and they have very limited medical resources. We will train the staff of the scenic area, the local residents and hotel owners, so they can benefit the tourists, and also the locals can be the real beneficiaries. And more importantly, actually, we've been doing doing it for several years is that we are trying to influence the future generation. We are carrying out the lectures and activities on sustainable tourism development goals in local communities during our monitoring. I think in the past conferences, I showed some pictures and also videos we took during our lectures and activities. And we are working with the companies that I mentioned to influence their fans about sustainable life and sustainable travel. And also, of course, thanks to the experts we have from Sun Yat-sen University, during the monitoring work, we actually always think and do a little bit more than just collecting data of monitoring issues. That will lead to very surprising good results as we've been monitoring for many years. For example, in a recent project we are doing with Xishuangbaina Observatory, yes, my last sentence, commercial map we mapped in 2019 were used in this specific project, and they were surprised that we collected it during the monitoring work. So in conclusion, we can say that innovation and persistence are important to continue our monitoring work in these observatories. Thank you.